Welcome to the Warm-Up Podcast. I look at today's Daily Telegraph, James Brown and Gavin Woods. I'm just glancing down. It says, a role model for every man. It's an article about the unrelenting pressure on modern men to look perfect. Well, three blokes that's passed by and who don't feel any of that pressure are myself, James, and Gavin.
Of it, yeah.
We're not aware of that unrelenting pressure.
Perfection comes naturally for the warm-up team.
It really does.
It does, yeah.
Physically, we're in the right place.
We're immaculate.
We really are. I'll tell you what, good session today. 3 hours.
Yeah.
Quite a run out for the boys.
Some good calls. Dickie Ord.
David Icke.
On fire.
Billy Whitehurst.
Who sounds just amazingly violent.
Do you know what sums the show up? We got a tweet halfway through. I didn't manage to read it out. From a guy called Guy Garrard. He says, the Dickie Ord and whole Alien Geordie landing bit, I had to stop the car. So, Guy, hopefully this
Was he angry? He was so enraged.
But doesn't that happen with aliens? Your car cuts out.
That's true.
Oh, yeah,
That's
everything
right.
dies. And
Maybe
then
when Ord was doing that thing with his phone to make music.
Don't do this because we'll get Ike on.
Yeah, but... Oh, that's true.
Seriously, don't fire him up.
Yeah, that's
Seriously, we've got him in a happy place. He's in a happy place at the moment.
Are we on here or what?
Yeah, we
are.
Look how, that's the end of the season. All the top fellas aren't even in for the
No,
podcast.
what we've got-
it's just Scott, the work experience.
Eating some crisps.
Eating his fine end of season feast. He's
Do you know why he's eating those crisps?
Hangover crisps.
In fact, there was I had a bit of an incident. I was walking past the vending machine outside the studio and I saw Gavin staring, eyeing up the machine. He was going, "Don't tempt me with crisps.
Stop making me want crisps."
Stop making me want crisps." And then I saw what's the producer's name?
Scott.
It's Scott, isn't it? Yeah.
I didn't know those cap
And
sleeves were back in.
I
The
didn't
way
know
you roll them up.
Cap sleeves and salt and vinegar. Yeah, man. Shang-a-lang-a-lang-a-lang, a shoo-be-doo-way.
And little tiny
It
shorts.
looks like an extra for MASH.
He does. He looks like a Bases Roller fan. Anyway, and I said, he just stood there. He goes, he's the guy who's now producing this segment. He just went, so hungover. So hungover.
Hanging over.
I'm just so hungover that even the sound of crisps is just like, it's too much for my head.
He had
I've had
loads of BMWs
Crisps
last
aren't going
night.
to help you with a hangover.
No, but he's had to wet the crisps first because they were too loud in his head. He's had to muffle them.
The best way to deal with a
What
hangover.
are you doing? Why have you got your hands down your front?
Just for company.
It looks good, actually. It looks comfy. It looks really comfy. It looks like you're really taking a load off.
I'm just looking for Alan's ring. He said it lost down there.
Okay, fair enough. Here's the podcast.
Yeah, could I speak to Sir Alex Ferguson, please? The result is all wrong. Manchester United were absolutely knackered.
Good morning. Welcome to the warm-up on TalkSport. I'm Johnny Vaughan, coming at you in association with Capital One on the day when the football is on hold as we count down the hours to Showdown Sunday. What's it called?
Shogun Sunday.
No, it's Showdown, Jim, not Shogun.
Shogun Sunday.
Showdown,
Showdown.
not Shogun.
Was I speaking to...
Smackdown Sunday.
Yes.
What is it? Showdown.
As we come down to Smackdown here.
Johnny, Showdown. You're speaking too fast.
To see if there's one final surprise in store this season, don't forget TalkSport will be at every ground tomorrow afternoon from 1 o'clock as the drama unfolds. Meanwhile, Tim Sherwood, he's accused his Spurs players of treating him like a supply teacher. What about
supply
it?
teacher.
A supply teacher. It's reported that Southampton's Adam Lallana has expressed a desire to move from the South Coast to Liverpool. Can you believe it?
Adam Lallana.
I can believe that.
Lallana. Warming up alongside me, the whistleblower and maestro, the woodman Gavin Woods is here, ladies and gentlemen.
Morning, Johnny. Morning, James.
Morning.
And Prince Entrepreneur James Brown, ladies and gentlemen. Sounds a bit odd in my ears this morning.
Does it?
Yeah, I'm getting, it's all surround and not
Is
enough.
it?
Yeah.
Should we get out of this pool?
Yeah, let's get out of the swimming pool.
Get out of the bath. Whose cigar is this?
Very good point. Listen to this. Dear Deirdre, this is how I'm going to kick off the weekend. No, this is what got me on the sports page this morning. Dear Deirdre, I thought I was chatting to a 24-year-old guy online, but when we Skyped, I saw he was overweight and unattractive 40-something. Yeah, I've got to sit opposite him. Dear Deirdre this morning. Another one here as well, just while we're going there. Sorry, James, no offence.
You beat me to it.
I know, but no offence, you're at least 50. Dear Deirdre, my married boss has been hassling me for sexual favours.
Favours?
I'm a 22-year-old man, and he's tried it on when I've been doing overtime. I said I'd report him to the directors, but he said he'll just get me sacked. My advice to you is to hang in there. TalkSport's not that unfriendly a place. Yes. There's a weird promotional pattern
But there's
here,
a career to be thought
There is
of.
a weird career path here. Hang in there, you'll be all right, and you'll end up... Jono went through it. He's fine now.
It was good enough for him.
It was good enough. He's now producing this show here. You know, Steve's now, deputy controller of programming.
Exactly.
He's hung in there. He's done all that. Yes, they are weird in the boardroom.
Have you noticed?
Yes.
But fashion has passed them by.
I know, of
They
course it
still
has.
look like blokes in the early 80s.
Well, they've been too busy under the desk in the boardroom, haven't they?
Look like Big Country.
They look like grunge fans. They look like they live in Seattle.
They do look like Big Country. A bit hip for the skids. But you're right, they do look like Big Country.
It must be really boring listening to. Did you see Vincent Tan and Malky Mackay
Did you
Yes.
say...
are back in the news?
Did you say Vincent Tan?
Yes.
I've bought a nuclear weapon. Go on, whack one with
Well,
Vincent.
Cardiff have been relegated,
Yeah.
which you could argue wouldn't have happened if Malky Mackay had stayed, but maybe it would. Maybe summer.
There's a great picture on Twitter of him with some black leather gloves holding his sunglasses, and someone has tweeted it up to TS warm-up.
Have they?
And he's saying, the championship. I've been expecting you.
Who's that? Who said
That came from at Bug Powder Dust 1.
Is
A
that-
brilliant one.
Because he knows Vincent.
That's right.
Okay, lads. Last weekend of the season, big weekend. How you feeling, Jim?
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Great.
Mate, what about you?
Finished for us in about January.
This season, for me, has been the live hand grenade or hot potato season. There's been 3 or 4 clubs being able to win it, and they've all just thrown
What are you
that.
talking about? The Premiership?
Yeah. They've been when it's in their hands, they've all thrown it away, haven't
And it's
they?
just gutting. Just as I sort of look at it, I think, is that it? Just if we just, as a Chelsea fan, if we just beaten Sunderland at home,
Yeah.
not drawn against Norwich, taking
Liverpool
the 2
had to
points
hold
there.
on to a 3-goal lead.
And early in the season, maybe beaten Palace at home, another thing, not lost to Villa there.
Drawing
Thinking,
to West Ham.
Do
Yes,
you
Do you know
right,
what
yeah.
it is?
But that's the thing,
You're
it-
not used to Man United not being there.
No, it's not.
It's
that.
confused
It's
everyone.
I tell you why. It's why I predicted that 2-0 up at Anfield the other week. It's because it's what happens when you start to go down the last few holes. It always goes
Gets
down
tense.
the 18th.
Yeah.
It really is such a mind game. And you look at these things, but actually, it's just as relevant that you look at the results at the end of the season, don't you? But actually, the things, the whole
the
season,
games
adds up.
earlier on,
you got to win them early on. You got to put them. You can't say it was that thing the referee didn't see in game 4. No one ever says that. It's
No,
always
they
that
don't.
penalty in game.
But it all counts for the same points.
Or
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
all counts for the same points. But my God, when you can just see it that clearly, when you just look at the points at the end, you think, we just had to beat Sunderland at home. That's all we had to do is not lose it.
Liverpool-
We just had to
Liverpool
beat
just
Johnny,
had to hold a
Liverpool had 10
3-goal
minutes
lead.
to hold a 3-goal lead.
I know.
Amazing.
But that's just like really not being able. You can imagine if Liverpool were a team there, it's like someone not being able to get out of a bunker, or like that guy. Remember in the Open that year, that guy was in the water and he just kept
whacking at it.
whacking away.
That's right. A French player, wasn't it?
Was
Yeah,
a
I
French
can't
player.
remember
Someone
his
will
name.
take us in. He just kept. That was exactly what Liverpool did. He said,
right.
we're all right here." Whoa.
Van der Veld, that's right.
Was it Van der Veld?
Yeah.
Have you just been told that by Jono and
No.
Europeans? Has Jono just gone, Van der Veld?
Yes, he has.
Yes, I
I
did.
bet he has. Like, what was it, Jono?
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was,
yeah,
wasn't
yeah, it was, yeah.
Just chipping in
I
with
just-
weird statements.
Do you know what the thing is? I knew you'd been fed that just because your expression you read.
I was waiting for it. I thought someone's
right.
going to tell one of us.
Van der Veld.
Isn't he a darts player?
No, he's not. He was a detective on television for years with
Oh, that's who is it? Vander?
with the eye level theme.
Barney.
Van Gergen. Van
Look, we
Gergen.
got another. Van Gergen there, Johnny Van.
That's his
Van-
area
Van-
of
Van-
speciality. People call Van.
Just weird this morning. I don't know. Perhaps this is what I want someone to tweet me, or text or tweet me about. Is I was just driving up through Clapham Junction in the car. It's one of those days. I don't know why. There's just loads of people in that kind of group fancy dress. Like there's a load of like nine
Like
guys.
a stag do?
No, a bit, but not a stag do. There's clearly some charity thing. There's women there as well. There's like 9 guys dressed as Smurfs. A lot of other guys in boiler suits with like yellow wigs on. Another load of guys in like striped escaped convict
Maybe
outfits with.
Was it Dexys Midnight Runners?
No, it was. I don't know what it is.
Might have been a university charity run or something.
I don't know what it's going right the way down to Vauxhall here. But what it makes me think, you know when they unveil the new strip
Of a club.
for your club?
Yeah.
And it's like, the shorts are
You mean
slightly...
the new 3 strips?
Yeah. The shorts are slightly baggier.
Yeah.
I can notice that. Oh, I saw what they've done there.
The red stripes just a bit longer.
Do you
Yeah,
find
I
it
go with
hard to support the team when the shirt is bad?
No, I don't know.
No, but
because
it's hard to
always
look at
vaguely
it.
No. Sometimes the away strip can put me off. But my point is there's never that big a surprise. But I was looking at these stag nights this morning. I was thinking, those lads have made the effort.
They really did.
Why don't they do that every season? Next season, your team will
Completely
play
different
with
strip.
entirely purple faces. They've got to go the whole. They do it sometimes in the ads, don't they? Like Chelsea painted themselves blue in some of the adverts. I think do the whole hog, lads.
Stoke are sponsored by Ribena.
Yeah, they're going to go on.
Purple-faced players.
Bright purple with a sort of straw coming out their heads.
Bongo.
Actually have to play in like a box
That'd
like
be
carton.
great. Crystal Palace sponsored by Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Exactly right.
The Wonkers
Wonka
Umpa Lumpers.
They're now going to come out in green and purple heads. And that's what they've got to do all season.
The songs from the terraces would be brilliant.
Humpa Lumpa
Crystal Palace.
We are going to win away.
Exactly right. Anyway, I'm just saying, sometimes you can't see the change there, but these lads have made the effort.
They
if you're
have.
going to give us a change strip and make us pay a fortune for them,
Shall we have
come
that
on.
as the tweet? What is the... Well, actually, we started that, wouldn't we? The whole very start of the season. What's the worst thing you wore to a match?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pantaloons.
that's what we started.
That's where we started. And the
Right, should we
winner-
go? We're back in the beginning.
Do you know what, if you weren't here on show 2 or whatever it was, just tell us about that guy from Leeds again. Go on.
What did he do? Did he go?
He had a fight with his
No,
girlfriend.
this was
Don't
brilliant.
choose something.
I've got to remember this.
Go on.
His missus threw all his clothes out the window or chopped them up or something because he'd been out drinking or been off
Yes.
with another woman or something. So he went to Ellen Road in a pair of her culottes.
That's all he had left was a pair of her culottes
And
for
a
day.
t-shirt
And
or
a
something like
t-shirt.
that.
Listen, it's 11:15. This is the warm-up. I'm Johnny Vaughan, joined by Gavin the Woodman Woods, who's got a Back in Black special. We've got James correlating all your social network media as it comes in, fresh.
That's my pick of the year as well. But
Is
we
it?
look back.
Okay, thanks very much.
Moyes must go.
All your internet needs.
Well, you're not on the Moyes must go, are you?
And Moyes must go was
I
the
know
best
I
thing
know-
this year.
I know, it was all there was this
It's
year.
the best Twitter feed.
We're back in a couple of seconds.
Don't be shy. Join the proceedings by calling the show on 08717 223344. Email us via talksport.com, or you can tweet us at TSWarmup or text us at 81089. 50p plus normal sending charges apply.
Just time for one more quick letter in Dear Deirdre, which I go to before the sports pages.
Yes.
I've always been obsessed with Deirdre and the advice she dispenses. But sometimes when you read Dear Deirdre, it's hard to make out whether it's someone who's comes... You know when you read the surveys of our listeners and they describe their home life and their demographic, sometimes it's hard to differentiate between a Dear Deirdre letter and something that's just come out of their describe your home life pile for the listener demographic. I'll give you an example. Dear Deirdre, I dream of settling down with a girl I can cuddle up to on the sofa, but it's as unlikely as me winning the lottery. I've just turned 30 and it's been a big slap in the face. I feel I've stagnated since leaving school. I'm in the same low-paid job, still living at home with my parents, and I've never even had sex. My point to you is, Dear Deirdre, or listener demographic, what do you reckon, James?
Yours, Phil Neville.
It is from Phil Neville. You're exactly right. No, it's Nicky Butt. Anyway, we've got another caller on the line, lads. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the chain. We've had Niall Quinn, Richard Ord, Gary Hours, Gary Bennett, Dave Bennett, Mickey Ginn, Ian Benjamin, John Burridge, Mickey Quinn, who was great as a live guest.
Fantastic, yeah. Sailor Mick.
We had Joe.
Sailor
A girl
Mick.
in every port. Look what I just said to him.
I
Mick-
heard.
A club in every port.
Yeah, a club in every city. Yeah. Joe Alon, who was excellent last week, did his whole stage show for us.
Yeah.
And he's given us...
I think he was on the. Do you think he was on the other end, wearing black tie?
Well, it stood in his hall.
Holding a tankard.
Do you think he was actually wearing black tie with a microphone connected up to the telephone? Okay, and today we've got another one. Do you know what we've got today, guys?
Yeah. Yeah, we do.
He was the hardest man ever in British football. He's been recommended to us personally by Joe Allen. Let's say Mickey Quinn gave the River Nile quite a shot in the Nile.
He did, yeah.
He really did. Let's welcome Billy Whitehurst.
It's just gone lunar, fast monsoon on the banks of the River Nile. Here comes the boat, only half afloat. Husband grins a toothless smile. Only just one more to this desolate shore. Last boat along the River Nile. Doesn't seem to care, no more wind in his hair.
Yes, indeed. We got Billy Whitehurst, former Hull, Newcastle and Sunderland striker, friend to Mickey Quinn, which makes him a friend to the show. Morning, Billy.
Good morning, Johnny.
How are you, mate? You all right?
Sounds a purple.
Okay, the first thing we've got to talk about is Sailor Mick. We had a Mickey Quinn secret. I don't want this show to be every week just homage to Quinny. He is a legend. No one knows his stats better than he does. He's a self-declared ladies' man.
They didn't even. Did you play together?
No, didn't
No,
play.
he didn't. He was before. He was after you, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was after me at Newcastle, yeah.
He told me that when he arrived, they were all full of the trail of destruction that you'd left. You were infamous.
Is that true, Billy?
Probably, yeah. I had a good time at Newcastle, but left on a bit of a sour note. I walked into the middle of the pitch and flagged all crowd, so it didn't go down too well. So
Wait a second. You slagged the whole crowd. What did you say?
flagged them off.
He
I
sent a
took two
signal.
fingers up.
Yeah.
Did you?
Wow.
Fair play. You were going to. What?
I tell you what, ballsy call.
That is very
Ballsy
brave.
call. It's a one-team town. I got to tell you, mucho cojones, eh?
Billy, was part of you wishing that some of them would come over the fence?
No.
Do you think you could have taken them all?
All of them.
One at a time, maybe, Johnny, you know what I mean?
To be fair.
Can I ask you a question?
Well, like
Billy,
Horatius and that bridge. Yeah, right.
Billy, is it true you once spent the whole game commentating on the match in the voice of Tommy Cooper?
Yeah, me and Keith Edwards, yeah.
Was that for Hull?
Yeah, Hull against Bournemouth.
Go on, give us a
Can you give us a bit of it?
Give us a burst.
He just says, I've got good feet. He says, over, and things like that, you know. Well done, Tommy.
More!
Come on,
The centre halves didn't know what was going off, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially when they'd had an elbow in chin, you know.
And how did that come about? Was it a bet?
Keith Edwards, who was a great goal scorer,
Yeah.
he was just, we would just talk. We'd been to see like a Tommy Cooper show in Hull, a life story of Tommy Cooper, and we somewhat pathetic really. We went on pitch and he'd tell like Tommy Cooper and I was Tommy Cooper, and he scored a couple of goals and he said just like that and all that, you know.
Well, for a whole game, you're like, I went on the centre back.
I've got good feet, yeah.
I went on the
He said,
centre.
get on that couch. I said, what for? He said, I want to sweep up.
The centre back was injured. He said, it hurts when I move my knee like that. I said, don't do it.
Was Hull your best? Was that your favourite club?
No, I mean, all were great times. I mean, but every club where I was, you know, I had a great time at every club I was at. Probably worst one was Oxford. I enjoyed it myself because I was always at Greyhound Track. It's shut now, Cowley Park. But
Can I say that's a great quote for us?
No, he trains dogs. You train dogs, don't you, Billy?
I've got Greyhounds now, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but that's the best thing. You said you were at some terrible clubs. You were at Oxford United. You had a great time because of the Greyhounds.
Brilliant.
Correct. I didn't say I was at some terrible clubs. I said Oxford probably was worst club.
Oh, you
No, he said he loved all the
He
clubs.
loved
but
all the clubs.
Oxford.
Oxford was the worst
But
of them.
I was at Greyhound Track most of the time, and I used to get slagged off by my own supporters at Oxford.
Did you?
know? I went to have a warm-up one day with Dean Saunders. You remember Dean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember doing, yeah.
And we were warming up, and all our crowd, Oxford crowd, was shouting, "White Earth, you fat blah blah," you know, fat B.
Yeah. We know that word.
Yeah, you know it. And get back to dog track and all this thing, and I'm like flagging my own supporters again. You know what I mean? And Dean says you can't do that.
Okay, can I ask you something? I mean, did you see them as supporters still?
There's just so much monkeys
I'm
behind
ju-
the cage.
No, but I'm going to say, because there comes a point where you've got to say they're not really my supporters.
No, yeah.
There comes a time when a man is literally flicking V's at another group of men, and,
Yeah, I mean, let's
and
be
they are
fair, Johnny.
slagging him off for preferring to be with greyhounds. There comes a time when you've got to go, You can't even call them the fans.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, when your own supporters are giving you that, there's something wrong in there.
There's something wrong. But what was it couldn't have been the main source of their grievance. Couldn't have just been the.
Don't dump that.
Can I just apologise for his use of that word there? I don't know
That's the best quote. That is the most honest thing anyone's ever said about football.
It's the most candid moment we've ever had there. Just to recap, why you've just missed something. Did you dump it? Yeah, I just said, why didn't your own supporters like you? It was a moment of candour, which we will celebrate forever.
Absolutely.
Right here on the warm-up.
Absolutely. Warm-up.
Yeah.
Okay, Billy, you still there?
I'm here.
Can I ask Billy, when you went to China,
Yeah.
what was that like? How did that come about? Because you were in Northern Ireland with Glentoran, and suddenly you're in China in the same season.
Yeah, well, what it was, I mean, I was playing for Glentoran. They wanted to shut me because they couldn't afford my wages. Well, it wasn't so much my wages. I was only on £200 a week, but I was staying in a hotel, and I mean, it was great because we only trained twice a week. But in the hotel, one of the directors owned the hotel, right? And I used to get up about like 11, 12 o'clock afternoon, go and have a big steak and chips and all that. Then I'd go into the bar and have about 10 Guinnesses, go back to bed for a few hours, get up and then stay up while 4 on all Freemans, you see. So the hotel bill were about £1,000. So they were only giving me £200 a week wages.
I can see what you've done there.
I mean, that's when I went to Hong Kong. I played for South China, and when I went, they were third bottom at league. We ended up winning their FA Cup. We got to the final of the League Cup, and we finished second in the league, and I was the leading scorer.
Isn't it weird though, with a population of over 1.3 billion, and that's South China. So you've got to say half it for men, so that's what, 700 million men. Out of 300, they've got a possibility of 350 million men. And they've got to come to England for Billy Whitehurst for a bit of backup.
That's brilliant.
What I want to know is,
Awesome.
so did you score in the cup final or anything like that?
Yeah, I scored in cup final. Yeah, and just to reiterate what we're going off there, and obviously we turned it round, and at the end of the season, the coach says we are 99%. Or he said it in. We had 99% said then we keep it next year.
That's a different thing. Go on, just tell us in English.
Well,
In South
they
Yorks.
were 99.9% certain they'll keep me next year. And anyway, that point one came up and they didn't keep me and they sent me home and I went home. And then the year after I got signed up by another club at Hong Kong and I went back and they says, we can't understand why South China don't keep you. Right, and I says, well, and I've got a jug of Carlsberg in my hand now, and we've just got there off plane, and we went for a meal, and he says, I says, well, I says they said they were 99.9% certain they'll keep me. I says, but they didn't. I didn't know why. He says, we asked them. I says, and what did they say? He says, you drink too much. I said, all right, I've got that big jug of Carlsberg. He says, but you drink as much as you want if you play well for us.
How lovely. You must have thought this is the club for me.
Yeah, I only play one game.
If you
Did my
play well for us,
cartilage.
you said what?
I only played one game and I did my cartilage and they had to pay me 15 grand for me to come home, so it was happy days.
Oh, man. Happy days.
Do you ever-
Tell you what I did, I've got a mate in London called Gorgeous George. He's a black cab driver, right? And he picked me up at Heathrow Airport and he drove me straight to Cheltenham, right? Went to Cheltenham races in a black cab. And I lost 15 grand in 3 days while I was there. I had a nightmare.
You didn't bump into Quinny, did you?
Yeah.
Never bumped into Quinny, no.
But it seems to me there's quite a network of you at the racing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know about now. I mean, when we were playing, it's a different game now, isn't it? And to be fair, you couldn't lose. I wouldn't imagine the money they get, but then. It was a bit boring, you know. Football,
Well,
you were
what?
training at 12 o'clock. You finished at 12, so you could get in bookies. It was
The trouble with football now, Billy, as I always say every week, is the focus is so much on football.
I think.
Which back in your day, that just went on. You know, it sort of, you know,
It's
it was
a distraction.
It was in the diary. It was a sort of date you had to keep every
But it
week,
wasn't
but it wasn't
everything.
important.
Yeah, it interfered with social life a
It
bit.
did.
Like.
It sounds like it got in the way.
Yeah.
Billy, do you ever play anymore, like just a kick around with your mates or a charity match or anything?
Kick about with my mates. Now I've got 2 hips. I've got two false hips in. Right. Two hip operations. I'm worth more in scrap now.
And is it true you work in a power station?
Kick around with his face.
Yeah, well...
I work in a power station, yeah, for Do Some Power.
And is it at all like the power station in The Simpsons?
Not at all. There's a couple like Mr. Burns that here, like.
And what do you do there? I've never met a bloke who works in a power station. What do you do?
As little as possible.
But I expect no drinking on duty there.
No.
Listen, thank you very much. Simpson, eh?
Simpson, eh?
Who are you nominating for next week's Journey Down the River Nile?
Dave Hall.
Dave?
Hall. Harle. He played for Leeds United, Bristol, and he's good mates with Snoddings and all that.
What's nice
right.
about this is that James is looking like David. Oh,
No, I know Keith Edwards played for these. David Hall.
David Hall. And I'll tell you something now, he's one of them players, like bread and butter players, what never had a bad game because he always gave 120%. And you know, if you give 100%, you can't have a bad game.
You can't have a bad game, exactly right. Listen, Billy Whitehurst, thank you very
Can
much.
I just ask you something, Johnny?
Yeah, go on.
Where have you gone, mate? You know, I'm being serious here.
Yeah.
You know when you were on telly and all that years ago?
Yeah. It's a long
You just
time ago.
went off the planet. What
know.
happened? Because, I mean, witty, good-looking, great. And what happened to you?
Okay, one word made up of two smaller words. Talk sport. That's all you
Yeah.
need to know. 11:45, right here on Talksport. I don't know. Do you know, I look at myself in the morning, I ask myself the same question.
Who are
should be
you?
back on telly, John.
I say, what happened? What happened? What happened? The answer is the warm-up, right here between 11 and 1 every Saturday. Who could ask for anything more? It's
Exactly.
11:45. Ladies and gentlemen, Billy Whitehurst!
Thanks, Billy.
Thanks,
Thank
Bill.
you.
That was Billy Whitehurst there asking, I think, the most important question anyone's asked for a long time at the
It's
end.
such a pity that we had to drop that. His reply
Oh,
it was
to
brilliant.
I was getting.
Wasn't it awesome?
That was the most honest thing anyone has
Anyone
ever said
ever
about
said.
football.
The most honest thing ever said by any
The
footballer.
most concise and to the point
It was
statement.
the brevity,
It was, yeah.
the soul of wit. It's
Three
11:46.
words.
We're back in a couple of seconds.
Talk Sport. On air, online, and on TV at Sky Channel 0108.
Tell you what, did you hear Danny Kelly and Mickey Quinn talking about Captain Kirk this morning?
No.
Priceless radio. Who needs football throughout the whole summer when you got Kelly and Quinn on Kirk? If I just have Quinn on Kirk.
Were they talking about the original Kirk?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, absolutely right. Well, they did debate that. But if you listen to it, it's amazing. And Mickey Quinn's Kirk impression, he did that whole, for how long, Mr. Spock? For how long? The way Mickey broke it down, he's amazing. I mean, Mickey, I'm thinking I could see him taking the con from Kirk. I could see Kirk saying, Quinn, take the con. And Mickey just emerging in a slightly tighter Star Trek top. Maybe a black and white stripe one.
Yeah.
Should we get back down that Nile?
You never see that, do you, on the Star Trek Enterprise? The Geordie. You never hear, shh. He said, Spock, take the con. He goes, I can't, Captain. He goes, get me Quinn, you hear, shh.
That'd be great if when they came out of the what's it called, the bridge.
Yeah.
with all of the rest of the crew wandering around in football shirts.
Yeah, I know. It really suited them. They sort of look like old football shirts, but you imagine that, just shh. And Mick comes in. All right, where are we going, Captain? All right, I can steer that. Take it up to warp speed, eh? I'll sit here. Oh, you with the funny ears. Get on the computer. Eh? Right, here we go.
Talk Sport. On air, online, and on TV at Sky Channel 0108.
I got to go to this wedding, like my girlfriend's friend's wedding, Ruth's wedding. Guess who I'm on the table with?
I couldn't know that.
Full Contact, Brian Moore.
No!
Yeah. Come on.
No!
What's Full Contact going to be like at a wedding?
Full Contact. Did you talk to Brian about rugby? Because I imagine when you sit...
No, it's next week.
Oh, is it?
It's going to be next week.
Oh,
You're on the
I thought-
same table.
How do you know you're on the same table already?
She told me this week. I bumped into her.
Well, she's already told you the table plan.
Yeah, well, I think she's just trying to make sure I definitely go. It's the same time as the cup final.
Do you know, for me, that's like one of those things...
That's the lure.
Do you want to know the sex of your baby before it's born?
Do you want to know who you're sitting
Do you want to
with?
know you're sitting with at a wedding before you go? No, I want it to be a surprise when I get there. I don't want to know
Imagine
that.
they've got there, got 3 hours of Full Contact.
God, what are you going to talk about, Brian? I'll tell you something. I've done a couple of shows with him right here on Talk Sport.
No, I have in breakfast. He's horrible. he just has a go at you. He's like a dog barking at you for no reason.
Well, it's just like being locked in a room with the enemy. Isn't it? You're thinking, what's he going to do to me? And then as soon as you're off air, that's it. It's gone. Boy, does he let you know the relationship's professional. You know, he's not there for fun. He's not sitting talking to you because it's amateur. You know what I mean?
No, indeed.
Do you know what I mean? I see. Brown Mac.
Hey, we're on for 3 hours today, and we've already run out of stuff to talk about.
No, I've got
No,
no
We've
more
even
content.
talked about football.
We haven't talked about football.
Gavin was
Yeah,
banging
yeah, I
on
mentioned
for
the
hours
season.
about
What did you
it.
say about football? You didn't talk about football.
You
talked
both
about
were.
the
You were
league.
talking about a
Talked
mentality of losing
the
it.
live
What?
grenade of leading the title.
Oh, yes, we did. You're
did,
absolutely right.
yeah,
But we
yeah.
sort of paralleled it with golf,
But
to
we
be
didn't,
fair.
we didn't mention the rugby sevens, which is what those people you saw dressing up earlier was for, I reckon.
Do you think that's what it's for?
Yes.
Oh, God, they look like the
And
sort
he's
of...
through again. It is a point.
That's all it is. Has there ever been, apart from handball,
And New Zealand got their 20th try.
no, Samoa, has there ever been a sport more pointless than rugby sevens? And don't just say handball.
It's got to be handball,
The
hasn't it?
goalie in handball.
Is a waste of space.
Well, what they've done is they've said, let's play man netball, but instead of having that little net, we'll just put a normal regulation
Footy
hockey goal.
Yeah, or a hockey goal,
Yeah.
yeah. You can't fail but score.
No, the goalkeeper doesn't stand it. I was watching the other day, just doesn't stand a chance.
Pretend to throw it one way, then throw it the other way.
And throw it just along the ground. He'll never get down there in time.
And the goalie makes a sort of savage starfish of his body.
It's the
but it
worst
never
sport
works.
ever. Apart from rugby sevens. And I say that with all due respect to everyone who's dressed up round Clapham Junction.
And he's through again.
And he's through again. He's found the overlap.
And it's a 20-yard dash
And they're
again.
through. On a 90-yard try. Waste of time. Billy was asking what happened to me in terms of telly. Do you know what it was? It's just... there's one thing you can't beat in light entertainment. There's one thing that no one's ever beaten. I don't know. I look forward to a suggestion coming in.
Yeah.
Just go slightly bald and don't have a wig or a weave. Just shave your head. And that's
You
it.
can't do it.
You can't beat the bald thing.
Speaking of wigs,
Not one person in the history of television has ever gone bald on the box. I mean, I'm outside soap operas and things like that, but no one.
Movie stars can do it.
Everyone can do
Yeah.
it. You can't, the only place you can't do it is British Light Entertainment. You can't
you
do
can
it.
go silver, Philip Schofield.
Yeah.
You can go silver. You can have a weave. You can have a wig. You can have one of those, implants.
Implants,
Like a
yeah.
Rooney. You can have a Rooney.
Like
Yeah.
doll-
I've tried it.
doll
I
hair.
suddenly thought, I'm good enough to beat this. I don't need hair. I can go on without it. You can't.
And they won't let you.
No, you can't. You won't just. That's it. You never get another offer. That's it. It's over.
Speaking of wigs,
It's hairist.
do you know who has... I bring this up because when he does what I'm going to say, he celebrates and his wig nearly comes off. Do you know who's got the longest putt, televised putt,
Who?
in golfing history?
Who?
Terry Wogan.
Has he really?
Terry Wogan has got the longest televised...
That's not
Putt.
true.
That is true.
I'd love to think that. Is
That
that
is-
true?
that is true.
Where'd
It's
you
with-
fish that fact?
Next, I was doing some research into the new Medusa bunker.
Okay. Well,
But
listen.
Hoy Lake.
Whoa, enough sport. Let's get.
No, you got to check it out. Look,
Okay.
Terry Wogan, longest televised putt.
Tell you, Terry's got nothing to do with the conversation. He's got thick hair.
No, because you
He's got-
see, after he's jumping up and down, he suddenly clutches his head.
Does he?
It's there is a football connection. He's playing with Trevor Brooking, and it's the old pro celebrity show with Peter Alice.
Peter Alice.
Ball sort of bubbled around a bit. He sort of got control of it. Sort of ball sort of bubbled around.
I
a
heard
bit.
Peter Alice talking
There was
about
a
Nick
colour-
Faldo once, and he said, he's a tall man, he's a handsome man, he's got a lovely little wiggle when he walks.
Don't talk about Peter John. If there's one man, I would, who's destroyed a sport, it's Peter Alice.
Do you think so?
Why is that?
Oh, I loathe him.
Oh, he'll
Because
be
he
tucking into his
consigns
chippers.
golf to the sort of pot-bellied, stretched burgundy.
He was a
club
very good
V-neck.
player himself.
He was. He nearly got to the end of a British Open once, and then that's it. But he's just one of those
That programme used to be brilliant.
No, he's so
Pro
sort of-
celebrity
he
golf.
keeps it from being a people's sport, not like Australia or America, where every man's got a set of sticks and just heads out there.
Set of clubs.
Just shove the sticks in the car and out you go. Admittedly, I remember once he was talking about Bruce Forsyth. He'd actually suffered a burglary and everything. But Peter Alice, just to give you a glimpse of his politics, he was talking about the guys who did it. He goes, they want the men who did it want, frankly, flogging. And then
they
he said,
burgled
wait.
Brucey.
You know what I mean? Not only flogging.
Yeah,
He said,
go.
he said they want flogging. All the way to the gallows.
Talk Sport. On air, online and on TV at Sky Channel 0108.
This is the warm-up. Do you know, my mind is whirring with possibilities here, because I've just read in the Times that the Olympic chiefs in Britain have had to deny preparing for an emergency move from Rio to London.
Yep.
And That was the sound of a bottle of water being screwed up very, very close to a microphone. That was it. That was like a sound effect. Do that again, James. It's very rare you actually hear things. They go, give us another burst of your water bottle. It just really sounded like a sound effect. He opened a bottle of water. And then he closed the bottle of water.
You know.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. And also, here's some more news. On the opposing page there, El Nino, you know that freak weather thing in the Pacific Rim? It's going to affect England's World Cup group. It's going to affect that stadium. El Nino's coming a bit early
good.
this year.
In Manaus.
Why is that good?
Because it's going to be so hot there and humid. If the players are playing in full-on downpour, it'll just be like playing in Manchester.
That's true.
Okay, good point.
Very good point.
Yeah, very good point, James. Actually, you cleared that one up. Anyway, yeah, we could have another Olympics here. It was very good last time, so isn't that nice? What do you want me to do there, producer? I couldn't penetrate. Oh, it's Dickie Ord, Johnny. We're going to take rubber nail there. It's 12:37. We've got Dickie Ord.
Yes.
Okay, we know that. And repeat. Essentially, that song
Who
is...
needs Cantona?
Who needs Cantona? Well, we've got Dickie Ord.
Why are fans' songs always so bad? Because it obviously starts out as a good idea.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Let's do a song about Dickie Ord.
And then they
'Cause they
suddenly
can't
realise...
sing.
Can't realise that. We've only really got that lyric.
And we can just chant.
Anyway,
rather than-
Dickie Ord's here. You're right there, Dickie.
Yeah, fine lads, you.
Yeah, not too bad.
Hi, Dickie.
Hiya.
What would you like to talk about today, Dickie?
Well, it's my stag week this week.
What, yours?
Yeah, my stag week. So I'm starting off now. I'm actually sitting outside a Hetton big club. It starts today.
Okay. Dickie, who's on the squad for the stag night? Who's there?
There's a few different squads, Johnny, to be fair. We're having a day in Fatfield tomorrow. It's like basically a pub crawl around a place called Fatfield.
How many pubs will that include? How many pubs are you looking there on the crawl?
Pub, I think there's 5. It's along the river banks of the River Weir.
Okay.
So we'll probably be swimming the River Weir tomorrow, just for a bit of
there's going to be a lot of weir and tear. Very good, so very good. And who are you taking along? I mean, who really is the big? Who
Any other ex-players?
Yeah, the big.
Yeah,
man.
well, the big day will be Tuesday. Quinny's bought me a box for me wedding present.
A box. He just bought you a box.
No, a box. It'll be a box at a racing.
We're going to grease ourselves down and squeeze in a box.
No, where's the box?
It's at Sedgefield Races.
Okay.
It's a great day at Sedgefield.
There's a link here.
Oh, it's a great day out.
It's always a great day out at Thirsk. So Quinny's treated you. Is Quinny going to be there?
Yeah. There's a big squad of them coming over from Ireland.
Better load in with the Guinness.
Who else? Who else is going to be there?
Big Lee Howie. His brother was a C from who used to play for Newcastle. Gary Howard is coming up.
By the way, did you hear his interview with us talking about you?
Yeah, I did, mate. Yeah,
was the story about the Kippers true?
That was true, mate. Yeah. that was actually in fact.
Whoa!
He started bleeping himself.
Yeah. Self-censoring.
Yeah, nice work, there. Very pro.
Go on, carry on. It's like you can see how hard what you've done there is you made the riff in Close Encounters seem quite complex.
He did. Yeah.
That's what happened if it was Geordies that had landed.
You just do that on purpose, Dickie.
If there was Geordies that landed in that film, it'd just be. He actually sounded like the aliens who came along and just spoke in facts.
Yeah.
They just landed and went.
What's he saying? Oh, it's not all downloaded yet.
Which I always think sounds like, hello, facts, how are you?
There's something wrong with you.
Anyway,
Dickie,
that's
the
not what we're talking
Kippers.
about. Go on.
Is that a true story that you warmed up microwave Kippers with your own urine?
Manually.
I did, mate, yeah. I'm unfair to say it. I mean, my 2 sons are listening and I do apologise. But we didn't eat them.
No.
You didn't eat them. Okay, can I just go back to this stag night because it intrigues me. You've got Niall Quinn. Okay, let's just paint a picture here because this is... No.
I thought you meant Mickey Quinn.
No, this is Niall Quinn.
right, of course.
Niall Quinn has bought him a box at Sedgefield Races, yeah? And Niall's coming along, but not only that, he's bringing a whole load of lads over from
Steve
Ireland.
Howie's brother, Big Lee.
Now, let me tell you, if those boys are getting out of Ireland to go to Sedgefield, they're not going there to drink tea.
No.
All right?
No.
Not the sort of crew they've got. They're going there because, do you know why, lads? This is serious. There's times in your life, like for instance, I went to see Led Zeppelin, right?
Yeah.
I don't, you know, you see Led Zeppelin, you tell people. But the thing is, I was sitting there in the O2 and I thought, this is the place to be right now on Earth.
That was a great gig.
There's nothing.
I went to that.
Did you go to it? But at the time, you're thinking there's nothing bigger than this at the moment on the
Right
planet.
now, yeah.
Right now, you very rarely get that. Well, I can tell you now, that box at Sedgefield Races.
Yeah.
When Niall Quinn and the boys arrived from Ireland for this stag, that is the equivalent. There is no bigger event on Earth at that time.
You've got to pity the waiting staff if they've got people bringing them
pity
drinks.
the horses.
Dickie, when's your actual wedding?
It's 30th of May.
And have you selected your bride yet?
Not yet, mate. No, we're going to... The parade rink at the Sedgefield, we're going to choose one out of the...
Okay. Well, you're looking to... I tell you what, it's a really cavalier decision to actually pick your bride on the stag
And this
night.
is your
awesome.
Is this your second
man's a
wedding?
god.
Dickie, is this your second wedding?
It is, yeah. They're calling us Henry VIII, mate. Who needs Henry VIII when we've got Dickie on?
Yeah.
That's what...
In English. We need English. We can't sustain a show in some sort of Pictish border tongue. We can't do it. I mean, you might have shouted that at the Romans, but it doesn't work here. As they looked over the water, they go, get all the water, becoming fires, but it doesn't work here. We've progressed. It's a written language
That's
now.
probably why the Romans stopped at that point.
Of course they stopped.
They couldn't understand what anyone's saying.
Anyway, let's have exactly the same thing in English, please. Go on. You can do it. I know you can.
Who needs Henry VIII when we've got Dickie on?
That's
the new chance.
Yeah, it's a good chance.
The wedding, obviously.
It's post-Roman humour, but I think they'd have appreciated
and multi-wife humour.
Yeah, multi-wife. It's post-Roman multi-wife humour.
That's right.
I think they'd have got it. I think they'd have got it. What else are we going to talk about today?
Building up to the Sunderland.
Gus Poyet. That's why you're on.
Johnny,
What?
any chance about talking about Sunderland? Because the last time I was on, we didn't even talk about football.
That's right, yeah.
I we didn't talk about football. We're not going to talk about football. No, listen, don't try, David.
He's beeping you out.
Oh my God, they've landed.
He's beeped you
No,
out.
don't beat me out. He's actually.
He knows he's doing it.
I think he started the stag do.
Stop.
I think he started the stag do.
Okay, there we go.
Dickie?
That was the. I'll reply in facts. Okay. What's Gus Poyet's secret? How's he motivating them? And it's not just a car battery and a couple of bulldog clips on the nipples. Come on.
He's done absolutely brilliant, Johnny, to be fair to him. I didn't fancy him when he got appointed. I thought he was just going to be another clone of the Canio, but he's come in and he's revitalised the club, you know. People talk about Brendan Rodgers and Tony Pulis being...
Hey, wait a second. Sorry, just wait a second. Have you got like a Bluetooth microphone for your phone that's in a hacky sack? I'm just saying. It just sounds like you're sort of just kicking a microphone around and just sort of talking. Can't you just keep the phone still?
We keep you up while I talk.
I know, but you're just going to keep me ups with a fernlet, you know. Just hold it by your head. I just trying to work out what it was. I didn't even know where the sound's coming from there, you know. And then I worked out all the man was talking us a little magic box. Okay, he's back. Are you there?
I'm here, mate.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
He was talking about Gus Poyet.
Okay, carrying about Gus Poyet, but without juggling the phone.
Why did you think he was going to be like Di Canio?
Just the stories have come back from the Brighton United fell out a lot of the players, and you know, there's talk of them having, you know, number twos in people's changing rooms and stuff like that. So I just think, you know, but he's done marvellous, really marvellous, you know, to get to a final, to get to a semi-final, and to keep the club up when they were. They should be giving freedom to the city, a bit like Quinny, to be honest.
Why would they want to punish him?
Who?
Giving him the freedom of the sea. Surely they should reward him, Dickie.
That's a bit harsh. They should offer him protection.
Yeah.
Is it, the stories...
He's invited to my box on Tuesday if he wants to come.
Hey, listen, Dickie, the stories that he... last night, I don't know if it's just in the Evening Standard, but there's talk about him might go to West Ham. The odds dropped from like 60 to 1 to...
Yeah, there's every chance, isn't there? Because obviously, there's been rumours about Big Sam leaving for the last season, so it's quite possible, isn't it? I think he signed a 2-year contract, Gus, but I think the job that he's done up here, and I think he loves the place, as everybody does that comes up to the North East, Johnny. You should get yourself up here now and again.
I've been up there now and again. I love it up there.
Roy Keane didn't he?
No, Roy Keane didn't like it at all. He loves the hearses and the druckles and the girls.
The dogs.
And the dogs and the druckles and the girls and the hearses. The hearses and the girls and the Roy Keane and the girls. The hearses and the dogs.
Hey, Dickie.
The girls.
Dickie, did you ever play against Billy Whitehurst, who we had on earlier?
Yeah. Did you have Billy on the last time he fought me? Yeah. Billy was brilliant. He come to Sunderland. I've got a few stories about Billy, to be fair. He come to Sunderland and I was 17, 18 years old at the time.
Okay, wait a second. I really want to hear these stories, but can you just keep the phone still and what you're doing?
That's him putting the volume up.
I didn't want
Dickie, put your hand round it, so you can't see anyone seeing your mouth.
Just remain static or get off the horse. Stop jogging.
Billy come to the club. I was 17, 18 years old, and he took me under my wing. To be fair, he was a bit of a minder for me, and he looked. I looked up to him, to be fair.
Yes, he sounds like a great role model.
But
Lucky you.
He had to leave the club because Ian Botham was doing his rehab. He knew Bob Murray, the chairman at the time.
Yeah.
And he was coming in Ian Botham to do his rehab, and he got mates with Billy, and basically they were going out in Sunderland every night and drinking a cocktail of BMWs, which was like brandy, Malibu and whiskey.
That's your mentor. Wait a second.
I think that's your big problem started, Johnny.
Yeah, I can see that. That's your mentor with a member of the board before they went to rehab. This is the mentor that decided
to... with Ian Botham.
Yeah. Ian Botham.
He's doing his physical rehab with him.
Yeah. Okay,
so basically they were kicking bouncers in every night, and so both of them got stopped coming to the club, and I think that was the end of Billy as well. The fact that they were going out.
England cricket captain led the centre forward astray.
What a fine pair of mentors.
Brilliant.
BMW cocktails.
Absolutely fantastic. I didn't. Do you know, it broke up on the bit you said Ian Botham. I didn't take that in. I thought I'd misheard it.
No, he said Ian Botham.
I know he said I'm like Ian Botham. And I just thought, is it Ian Botham or is it just Ian Botham? Anyway, listen, thank you so much for talking to us, ladies and gentlemen.
Our favourite.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
One of the best guests we've had.
He is one of the best guests, isn't he?
Yeah.
And can we just say, best of luck for Dickie, best of luck for your stag night. And can you send our love to Niall Quinn at every stop? I know, that's why I can wind
And even
up now.
better luck to his prospective bride.
Yeah, he hasn't met her yet. He's relying on meeting his missus at the stag night, which I think is absolutely fantastic.
Because I remembered that his mate who came on the week after was talking about his wife before, wasn't he?
Yeah, I know, fantastic. It's all fantastic. Richard Ord there, live and exclusive to TalkSport's warm-up. We're going to sign him up next season, so we just get him exclusive. No one else will have dibs on him. It's 12:49. We're going to take a break. Back in a couple of seconds.
TalkSport, on air, online and on TV at Sky Channel 0108.
So 11 minutes of this opening session to go. 2 more to go after this, and we should be done and dusted, Johnny, at around about, I would say, 2:10.
Okay, thank you very much, Graham. Do you know what I think would really liven Formula One up? If you know, if to get someone to move over, that's the hard thing. They just have that line, no one can overtake.
Have a horn.
No. I think it should be something you can line up, like in Top Gun, and then suddenly you can go, I've got tone. Beep, 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 beep. And that's it. They've got to yield because you've got tone on
You
them.
can flick their wing up to slow them down.
Yes.
Yeah, I've always thought that you should change your own wheels.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So you should come into the pit lane, you've got to get out, and like we all have to do if you've got a puncture, they've got to do their own wheels.
Do you know what, Graham?
That would be great.
You've hit something here that really cheeses me off, and I know James will interrupt me because he does tend to when I start on one of my big ones. I interrupt everyone else as well. But here's something that cheeses me off. James, bear with me on this, right? You know when you go to a Shell garage, and there's all the guys behind the counter. Often they're from Sri Lanka. Actually, I don't know why they're big at Shell garages, but it just seems to be where they're happy. And you go in there. And you're at a Shell garage where you fill it up yourself. You got a queue. You get a guy go, pump number, please.
Yeah.
Is that all? And yet they're wearing Ferrari, Shell. They're wearing like Formula One gear. And hanging around the petrol station looking like a pit crew.
And you take the nozzle
You're
out,
thinking,
don't you?
no, this hasn't been a Ferrari, Shell, Formula One experience.
You stand there for
As
ages
I
with the nozzle in
queued,
your hand.
Just,
Imagine if they were in the pits.
No, but here's the deal. I know, but, yeah,
Button,
you know, yeah, that's
Button
what-
comes in and they're just looking at him
they just
from
look
behind
at
the
it, and
plexiglass.
They just go, pump number, please.
Yeah, but they also ask if you want some chocolate.
Yeah. Anything else?
They wouldn't do that in
Anything
F1.
else? Pump number, bin number, please. And they just look away.
Hey, Jensen, do you want a special Cadbury's offer?
You never get that, do you?
Yeah, the cream eggs are all for sale in around about middle of summer, aren't they?
That's
No,
right, yeah.
but guys, there's a wider issue here, and I'll tell you what that wider issue is. Yeah, you never get exactly right. Here's the wider issue, right? The government, we know, out of every 100 quid you spend at the pumps, the government, you know, they take 80 quid, right? Roughly. The petrol station takes 20. Right? So they're getting 80 quid, right? Now you think, anywhere else, if you're going to a restaurant and spending £100 just on you, you're getting some service there.
Yeah.
You're getting a waiter. You're getting someone coming up. But the petrol station, they treat you like it's just a fine. It's such a charmless experience. You spend 100 quid, of which the government has nicked 80 quid off you. You know, that's just like 150 quid to earn it. 150 quid to buy £20 of the petrol.
There should be an MP filling your car up,
It
shouldn't
should
there?
be, or at least a really high-ranking civil servant. Because you think about what that pump's taking in an hour.
That's right,
In
yeah.
1 hour, what it's earning compared to a waiter. And yet, what you actually got to go up there and grimly pay yourself. All you get is one bloke there going, pump number, please. Anything else?
Just some chocolate.
Pin number. And that's it. And he's more distracted by generally a soap opera that his mate's watching round the back.
That's right.
In that room. Whatever they do in that room.
In terms of hours, how long is a Formula One race? How long does it take?
Who knows, James?
It's a-
I've
is it
never
like
seen to the end
2
of
or 3
one.
hours?
It's a couple of hours, yeah.
It's a couple of hours.
Do you think they ever
it's
get
a couple
hungry?
of hours exactly.
Do you think they ever get hungry?
No.
You think there should be an opportunity to buy snacks?
Yeah, but at what point? Yeah, I am.
Yes.
At what point?
They should have to buy snacks.
Yeah,
And
because they should think, is there someone in there go, come on, let's pull in.
Are you saying
He's having a dialogue with himself saying, I want to get some chocolate.
Are you saying that? What are you saying is that each Grand Prix should have a different snack sponsor?
They should have a
So
services.
you've got a wolf back against us while you're paused at the side of the track. So
Or
you're
a-
pull over, whack back against us. That he's fast with against us.
There should be
Lewis Hamilton will not make up time with that because
He's
he
unwrapped
knows,
it in
He
seconds.
knows that Jensen Button is a much faster pie eater.
There should be a services on the F1 tracks.
Definitely. And they
You,
should.
can,
And they
you
should
can't
have to
expect a bloke
suffer.
to drive around for 2 hours without stopping.
James, it's starting to drive me mad. The lack of charm involved when you're paying that much. It's 100 quid, and they just treat it like it's a fine. It's 100 quid. That's like a bad fine for something. That's what you get for parking badly. And you're pulling to a forecourt, filling a car with petrol. Government says I'll have 80 quid. What's in it for me?
It's dangerous as well.
Exactly right, James. Okay, 116. Sorry about that. I've just got that off my chest.
Yeah, thank
It's
God.
unlikely they will introduce the Shell staff at trackside in Formula One. I think that's what we can conclude.
Talk Sport. On air, online and on TV at Sky Channel 0108.
Hi, I'm Brian Moore. I don't normally say hi, I'm Brian Moore.
Hello again.
I just walk into rooms and sit there and just growl at Varney and make him feel like everything he says is a complete twaddle, which it normally is. You guys talking about petrol stations earlier, and how what a charmless experience it is, considering it's
A
100.
charmless, expensive procedure.
Well, it's 100 quid, right?
it's
And I'm just
dangerous.
saying, in a decent restaurant, 100 quid a head, right? You're getting
Get
a
4
sommelier for that.
waiters.
You're getting a cheese waiter.
Yeah.
You're getting a pudding trolley.
Double mints.
You're getting double mints there. You get everything all right, sir.
The maitre d' always...
But what you're not getting is a surly guy behind the counter going, "Put number, please." Put bomb. Put number, please. And then pretending to look away. You know that honest look away they do. You go, "Pin number, please." Look away.
Yeah.
One more thing, right? The reason that everyone, obviously, the government takes 80 quid every time you fill up. Now, the reason, if you ever looked at a petrol station, James, when
Yes.
you're filling up with petrol, yeah, look around next time. Look around at everyone there. Everyone knows they're being ripped off because everyone sort of looks slightly. Like a little bit like they're a mug, just filling up with petrol. Hey, when you're filling up with petrol, you stand there and you think, God, I'm a mug. You even stand there looking like, yeah, I know, I'm being ripped off, I'm a mug. But everyone just stands there looking like, ridiculous, isn't it? We're all,
I think it's weird that
We're all
in-
just standing here, but it's like a very, very long slash everyone's got. It's like being fined for having a slash. Everyone's sort of standing there like going, all right, mate?
Yeah.
All right, catching people's eyes, all right?
Like a
all right,
giant
that's all right.
rip-off urinal.
Yeah, it's like a giant
Don't you think it's
rip-off
weird that in front of the actual bit where they sell you all the chocolate and that,
Yeah.
given that petrol's flammable, they have all that material for creating fires?
No, very odd, yeah.
Coal, kindling.
Yes, actually, very good
It's
point.
really weird.
It's weird, isn't it? You have a petrol station, you've got petrol there, And you're right. And then there's a load of briquettes.
Coal
Briquettes
and-
and easy to burn.
And nets of wet wood.
Complimentary arson kit.
They're sitting ducks for
Big,
terrorists.
big nets of damp
that
wood.
about?
I tell you
Weird.
what, it's like a one-stop shop for an urban gorilla. Anyway.
Roadside bonfire.
Yeah, right. Okay, James, I've got to move on because I've got David Icke on the line. David, are you there?
Hello, mate. Hey, we've got one last petrol station on the Isle of Wight where the old guy comes out and puts the petrol in for you, and you chat about the weather.
That's run right
They say
into
the world's moved on. It ain't, mate.
Does he swab the windscreen down for you?
Oh,
while you're there?
it's just like it was when I was a kid, because they were all like that. And but it's great. One left. That's all.
Well, do you know what? The thing that gets me is, in terms of how much you'd pay per hour, right? How much one busy petrol pump makes an hour?
Yeah, a lot.
You know, well, I don't know, but it's not a particularly skilled job, just not filling it up. But it's another area where people can exercise charm and enhance the quality of life. Bit of conversation, make you feel good. But it's another little bit of profit they're looking at. Honestly, David.
Anyway, let's move on.
Let's get back to football.
Great to have you back.
Yeah, thanks for coming back, David.
Yeah, cheers. Good. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Derby County supporters.
Yeah.
My son, singer-songwriter son, is to say he's a Derby fanatic is not to get even close. He actually lives in Derby now and got a season ticket, and I really want to get him to get in the Premiership because
they won the first leg, didn't they?
Yeah, 2-1. Brighton too. I mean, pity they can't go up because what they've done with 12 years without a ground and got to this point is fantastic. But I'd love Derby to have another chance at the Premiership because it was a horror show last time. But they've got a better side now.
I'll tell you what as well, David. It'd be interesting to see Steve McLaren getting back into the Premiership as well, because he's got so many critics to answer. I mean, I think his biggest achievement probably was what, 4-0 in the Cup Winners' Cup, or Europa? Was it Cup Winners, the last ever European Cup Winners' Cup for Middlesbrough?
Yeah.
Sorry, it was UEFA Cup, wasn't it? Not Cup Winners' Cup.
Yeah.
But he lost 4-0. That was his biggest achievement. But bringing a team up like that and getting a chance to challenge again at the top, do you think he can manage that?
Well, I think he'll be fine as long as he doesn't speak English Dutch.
Arsenal 2 is also tough.
And no umbrellas.
It was extraordinary, that interview, wasn't it?
It really was.
It was just insane.
It was.
Yeah, but he came in after Clough, and with pretty much the same players, and basically, bang, they were off immediately, and he's done a fantastic job at Derby, and. They've got amazing fans that support them through thick and thin. It's mostly thin for years, and it's really great. Well, it's really great that they've picked up, I think.
And what sort of football are they playing? I haven't really watched them. How would you characterise the McLaren way?
Well, they're a very, very good side. I mean, when you think they're playing Brighton in the playoffs, and they've scored 29 more goals in the season than Brighton.
Wow.
Very, very good side. Score for fun, move the ball about really quick, but with purpose. You see, I mean, for me, Johnny, one of the great things about this season was Bayern Munich 0, Real Madrid 4.
That was an amazing game.
And I'll tell you why. Guardiola, I mean, obviously a great manager, and he's done some great things, but he introduced this obsession with tippy-tappy
merry-go-round
for the possession's sake. He's done 26 passes, and they've ended up where they started out, that great deal where Real Madrid said, you keep the ball for 10 minutes, then we score. Then you keep the ball for another 10 minutes, then we'll score again. I mean, I hope that, that's burst the bubble of this pinball football.
It's really interesting.
Pinball football.
Madrid looked more dangerous without the ball than Munich did with it.
Oh, Woodman
They really did.
I'll tell you what, it's all about the Woodman and Ike.
No, they really did.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Ike. I'm printing up the T-shirts as we speak. In fact, we can get the old ones from
I'm a good man for Woodman.
I'm a good man. I like Ike. But it's really, you're going toe-to-toe, boys.
The great myth about possession football is how difficult it is. It isn't. Keeping the ball, possession of the ball in the first two-thirds of the field is straightforward. You just got to be fit enough and have enough nous to keep making an angle on the guy on the ball so he's got a straight, simple pass to keep possession. In the last third, that's where it's difficult. And at Barcelona, he had Messi who could open doors with next to no space in that area. But if you haven't got that, you can keep possession. Like Manchester United at Everton this season. kept all that possession, and then you got blown away 2-0. So I just hope that we get a bit of balance back, because it can be really boring just seeing that ball pop around and get nowhere.
OK, do you know what? That was Pep Talk with David H. That was a very good pep talk, wasn't it? Very good. That's telling him, Mikey. What else you got your eye on? What's been a joy for you in the Premiership this season?
I've loved Liverpool. I think they've been.
But they choked it, Dave. They choked it.
Yeah, they choked it because they've got a defence that does sieve impressions, haven't they? That's the problem. I mean, you're always going to have a problem if you're leaking at the back like that. But going forward, I think they've been lovely to watch. But one of the things I've noticed is the number of clubs that have Plan A. And play Plan A, but I don't have a Plan B.
They haven't got a Plan B,
they just keep repeating the same thing. And so when someone like Mourinho goes to Anfield and fills the space they normally play in.
And wait a second, David, but also gets slammed for having a strategy that won him the game. And I heard a caller was on another radio station, but they were talking about, has everyone forgotten the art of defence?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with being able to soak up pressure. You don't want to go to Liverpool and think, no, we're just going to outscore
Well,
them.
that's what Liverpool should have done.
If you haven't got any strikers, I mean, why go to Liverpool?
Liverpool should have taken the stalemate. They would have still been.
I know, but the point is, Chelsea weren't going to go up to Liverpool thinking, we're going to really outstrike them.
No, I know.
Because we've got strikers akin to Suarez.
They did do that against City, though.
Yeah,
Chelsea did. They attacked.
They didn't really blitz them, though. They sat back and they waited so that City was stretched because they were countering, and then in you go.
I tell you, don't start me on that one, because I at the time, I couldn't believe it. I mean, here's Mourinho and Chelsea. They're playing in the Champions League. They're going to Liverpool with injuries and a weakened team. They know that Liverpool want that space behind, and so what they're going to do, they say, okay, well, Liverpool like the space behind, so you know what we're going to do, lads? We're going to give it to them.
Yeah.
And I thought that was genius what he did, and it's like you're absolutely right, Johnny. People look at football and they see it in such a one-dimensional way.
Yeah,
going forward, scoring goals. There's much more to it than that. All the subtleties, and I thought the job that Mourinho did on Liverpool that day was brilliant.
Unbelievable. It was a master tactician. He mind-gamed it there. It was absolutely fantastic. I mean, to go to anyway, I'm not going to bang on about it because I start to sound really biased, but I thought it was unfairly slagged for parking two buses in front of the goal. Have you ever tried to park a bus in front of Luis Suarez? I tell you what, a lot of people have tried.
He always gets a shot off.
You'll always get a shot off. I mean, if it was just as simple as, you just sit back, that's all you got to do to Liverpool, you just sit back, park the bus. Okay, there's one more thing I've got to ask you about, David. What do you think of David Moyes and his season and how he was treated?
Well,
I felt overall they didn't give him enough time, and I thought it was unfair.
Yeah, the thing is that he was given what appeared to be a Mercedes, but they didn't tell him the Mercedes was made in 1925. I mean,
let's say the late 70s.
Good point.
He took over a club that wanted rebuilding in terms of the playing staff, and anyone that followed, you look at Busby. Anyone who follows the main man who's been there and very successful, or at any club, they're on a hiding to nothing because they fall for the comparison game all the time, and it takes people to go in and fail to delete that comparison mentality, so someone else eventually comes in and takes over and does well. But I think that. The situation with football now, in terms of who owns it and the nature of the finances. I mean, it could well be.
Dave, do you know what? I've just been seeing because that's a really big topic for us to go into, and who owns football, and we've sort of explored this throughout the season.
Yeah, but
if you can, brevity here, David. Brevity.
Where I was going with this is that people given a lot of time. That's probably a thing of the past because. They're looking at the stock markets. They're looking at the share price.
Absolutely.
They're looking at the
finance. £200 million.
That's probably why he never got any more time than they gave him, because it's a panic job.
I know. What I was saying at the start of the season, David, was that every manager should get a season, and that's it, which gives him the power. It means players can't start just sort of underperforming. We'll wait for it. And players basically just live in a world without blame. The other day, I know Mourinho came out. I wasn't really pleased with him slagging off Eden Hazard. But, after a while, you've got to think to yourself,
What can a manager talk about? He's up there. They want to. The press wants to print a story for padding. He can't talk about refereeing. He can't talk about his players. He can't talk about the owners. What is a manager allowed to now talk about, apart from saying, just apart from sort of a string of cliches? David Icke, thank you very much for joining us. I've got to take a break right now. Enjoy the last day of the season.
Cheers, Jake.
All right.
Speak to you again, David.
Cheers, David. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen,
He's
the
great,
man
isn't he?
is
He's
absolutely
great.
superb. See, what people forget about David Icke is that at a time when there was only 2 channels showing sport.
Yeah.
David Icke, and at the time when David Coleman was really, he was like Yoda.
The kingpin,
He was like Yoda. Learning, he really was like, the guy who selects everything. He really had power. He chose Icke to be a pundit. Don't forget. He was chosen in an era when not just any old.
It wasn't easy
And
to
he
get that job.
hosted Grandstand when Frank was off.
Exactly.
When Boff was off.
Exactly. When Boff was off.
Icke was on the mic.
He wasn't. I don't want to be patronising, but he was in an era where you couldn't get near sport unless you firstly knew your stuff. Secondly, you could really perform in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Dickie Davis and the lads. Fred Dinage took over. I mean, you can't. He also hosted How. That's
He
how
did.
good he was.
He did.
Oh, I don't know, but he
He's the
certainly
model
did.
for Partridge. He is.
Is he?
Yep.
I didn't know that. I thought I was. Okay, listen, it's 1:33 right here on TalkSport. That was David Icke. It should never surprise us how good he
And
is.
he'll be back, won't he? He'll be coming back again.
He will be coming back because he's a hell of a pundit, and he comes from an
He
era.
knows more about football than any of us, as you can tell from listening to him.
Why'd you have to say that?
Wait, I'm just stating the obvious.
No, why'd you do things like that, James?
Come on, get onto the news.
No, why'd you just do things like that? You
That's
just
on
always-
Belonga.
Talk Sport. On air, online and on TV at Virgin Media Channel 927.
1:52 right here on TalkSport. No mention at all of Earth's most pointless game, which is rolling on now at Twickers, which of course is the Sevens rugby. Just a suggestion: maybe make the pitch smaller.
Yeah.
Then you might catch the guy.
Yeah.
You got 3 in a scrum. That leaves 4 guys outside it, and another
There's
4.
gonna
But
be
they
some
play on the
empty space.
full-size pitch
Yeah.
with only 7 blokes.
Yeah. Well, no, he's round him, and it's another try.
it's a try.
Oh, guess what? And here's
It's another
case in
try.
point. I know the guy might catch him. He might
Might
catch
catch
him.
him. Go
Whoa,
on.
whoa, no.
He's got him.
Something happened in Sevens rugby. How about that?
He brought him down like a gazelle.
Oh, man. The funny thing is, I know people who go to Hong Kong to watch it.
Well, just
On
go
a
there for...
bank jolly at the Hong Kong said, no, I'm going to Hong Kong to watch the Sevens. You're thinking, what? I'm meant to envy you, or I don't even feel anything. Emotionally, I feel nothing.
Yeah.
It's like still water.
It's end-to-end stuff, though. I've never watched
That's
it before,
all it
but that
is.
was...
Okay,
I was silenced then by what happened.
Okay, we caught it in an exciting
We
moment.
did, yeah.
Anyway, looks like a good drink up.
Yeah, they have brandy, Malibu and whiskies.
No,
Susan Spence is the wench on the bench.
Indeed.
Hi, Susan.
That's a good rhyme.
How are you, Susan?
Yeah, good, thanks. Whoever was on last week did really well, didn't they?
Yeah.
All right. Yes, they did. They
Yeah.
caught up with me. But I'm 60. I've got 66 points. Last week I got nothing because I was distracted by James. The bench last week, you got the exact score: Everton versus Man City, and you predicted a Wickham win. So that was good for you.
Well done.
Gav predicted a win for Man City and Wickham. You got both those right. 2 points there.
I'm in the 60s.
And JB got nothing.
Can I just
he
say
will be relegated.
He will be
But that
relegated.
week, when my girlfriend had a baby and I couldn't do the show, the polls panel didn't sit. I got nothing.
You rang them in.
James, I've
I
got to get
didn't.
on with the show, mate.
Apparently you did.
We're in the middle of Labour.
Steve checked.
Remember, you
Steve checked.
rang me to find out how the baby was coming
Yeah, no,
out.
you called in 3 times during that show.
I did not call him once. He was ringing me and we were in the
I know.
delivery room.
I know. We have to get the
Anyway,
permission.
we got your scores. You managed only 48 and you're relegated.
You're relegated.
I have not been
who's coming in for you
relegated.
each week for this bit
Bob
of the show?
Ballard.
Yes. Is coming in each week. We're getting
Well,
Bob.
frankly, that's fine with me because Bob knows a lot about sports.
He does.
Okay, here we
He's
go.
a little bit intolerant of Russian hotel rooms, but I think he's a West Ham fan. I do follow him on Twitter, and he knows his game.
He does.
Did you listen to that Adrian Durham interview with Mike Tyson earlier?
I heard
No.
the brief
The little brief
snippet.
Yeah.
What you didn't listen to it is
Soft punched.
okay. God, they look serious in the box now.
They
don't
do,
Okay,
yeah.
here we go. Right. Manchester City versus West Ham United tomorrow. I am predicting
Yes.
2-0. Gavin.
I'm going to go 3-0.
3-0. The bench.
1-1.
1-0.
Oh, do you know, I felt the slight drawiness about it as well.
The bench is trying
She
to
knows
steal
her
it.
stuff.
The bench is trying to
Last
steal
time
it.
she was here, you scored loads of points.
Really did, yeah.
Do you know what?
Oh, you see, you look
you
worried
can't-
now, Johnny.
James, what do you think?
I'm going 4-0, Man City.
4-0. Okay, right. Liverpool versus Newcastle United. Bench.
3-1.
3-1. Gavin?
3-1.
James?
4-1.
I'm going... I think it's going to be 2-0. Okay, last one. I tell you something, it's quite tense, Susan. I've never had this sort of tension.
This is the deciding round.
Do you know what I was even thinking of doing? I was thinking of just copying her score.
Well, normally,
that's true.
Normally you go with what everybody goes with. You go the other way.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
wait till we've all done it, then
And
you
it's
go the other
worked,
way.
and it's worked for you.
worked for you. You were explaining it last week.
Well, go first.
Go
this time.
against what everyone's going for, and it wins.
James, will you sod off? Okay, here we go. I think that's all right.
Johnny, what do you think? Derby County versus Brighton.
Derby County versus Brighton. This is tomorrow, 5:15. Derby lead 2-1 after the first leg. But we're just dealing with this actual game.
That's
we're not
right,
dealing with
The
aggregates.
second leg, yeah.
Okay, so what do you think, Gav?
I'm going to go 2-1 again.
What do you think, Johnny?
What do you reckon, Benj?
No, you've got to go first.
I've got to go first.
You do,
What
you've
do
got to
you
go
reckon, Benj?
first.
Shut up. What do you reckon, Benj?
1-2.
1-2, okay. I think. Do you know what? I think 1-2. James, how you going?
2-1.
2-1. There we go. Okay, that I'm signing
That's
the.
so sneaky.
It wasn't that.
So what are you doing?
He's copied her.
I haven't copied her at all. She said 1-2. I went 1-2. Okay, that is it for the warm up. We're going to carry on going a little bit through the summer. I think you're back intermittently, aren't you?
Yes.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm only missing one.
Summer.
We're all here the whole time.
Summer.
Yeah.
We're just playing a summer
It's
season.
the summer
Talk Sport.
season.
Thank you very much to the wench on the bench, Susan. Thank you very much
Thanks,
to
Susan.
everyone who's called in today.
David Icke, Dickie Ord.
Fantastic. You listen to the warm up
Billy
on
Whitehurst.
Talk Sport. Thanks to Capital One, official credit card of the Football League. Kick football out of football. Never, ever, ever let the football spoil a good day out of the football. I did it once this season. I told myself I'd never get that hooked again. And Atletico Madrid broke my heart. I mustn't get that connected again with football. It can do it to you. Kick football out of football. Never let football destroy a good day out of football. But above all, enjoy yourself. It's later than you think. That was the podcast for the warm-up. Hope you enjoyed that immensely. Jono now is back in the studio with the hungover man who's still on his crisp. Jono's got an orange, and Steve's now joined
John
him.
is not hungover and he's having an orange. Scott is hungover and he's having crisps.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
That's the difference.
Dietary
And that's the
requirements.
Well, I'm not going to make any comments about Johnny holding an orange. That's off limits.
Do you know what they look like?
Good show today.
Can
though.
I tell
Ike
you-
was on fire.
Can I
Ike was
tell you
brilliant.
what they look like staring at us?
What?
Plane spotters.
Yeah,
Those
they do.
blokes you see on the edge of Heathrow when you're trying to find the long-term car park.
Trying to read our numbers.
Hey, do you know, I've thought of a great new craze we can do, lads.
What's
I
that?
thought of something brilliant.
What?
James, you give me an idea for something brilliant that we can start off.
What?
Anorak spotting. You have to go to stations and take photographs of train spotters.
Different anoraks.
Of different anoraks. You go to airports and you get anorak spotting.
Well, what you mean the actual anoraks they're
Right.
wearing?
No,
Gavin,
the actual, just them as
listen,
men.
Which model of
As-
anorak
No,
they're
not anorak,
wearing?
because they don't actually wear anorak, but just the men. Just the men. And you have to name them. And you've got a collection. I've spotted over 7,000 spotters.
This year-
Spotter spotting.
I spotted, this
Yeah.
is true, a tube spotter at Hive in Islington.
No.
Okay.
And he had the distinctive kind of like horrible-looking jacket.
I don't know one up you, but that's nothing.
But he was writing down
the tubes. That's
the
nothing.
tubes,
That's
but I
nothing.
couldn't even work out because there's no numbers on the carriages.
There is. There's numbers on
the engine.
Okay. Check this.
But
Check
check that
what I
out.
saw one night. Going through Trafalgar Square. Yeah, it's actually when I was going.
This is
to,
on the underground.
And this is when I was going to work. Right.
Tube spotters.
And I was thinking, what were those guys doing there? Do you know what they were? Night bus spotters.
No.
No.
Yes.
Night
bus spotters.
Dedication.
What kind of man does that?
I was driving up from Brighton.
What manner
and
of
I
man?
seen three blokes round a field.
Yeah.
Windmill spotters.
No way.
Just stood
But what were they
there.
waiting for a windmill
They
to
were
show up?
writing down each time the blade went down.
And that's it for your podcast.